Morning.
Glad to see you all in time this morning.
My phones are off.
I didn't know whether to turn up late or what to do.
We've already had that discussion.
Yeah.
They always come in threes, so I just don't know what can happen.
Yeah.
David, do you mind if we start with your ever-growing injury list first, please?
Yep.
Vito Minoni, how is he?
It's not good news. He has torn ligaments in his elbow, and we are just finding out just now if it will require surgery or whether it's just to be put in a brace for the time being. But it's a significant injury. But the doctor's first feeling was it would be a minimum of 3 months.
I mean, I suppose that's the last thing you needed given your other problems right now.
Yeah, well, if I did 2 or 3 injuries, which are obviously there's nothing you can do. Lee Catamol's had a double hernia, and obviously Seb Larsson had some work done with his cruciate. Kirch has had a little bit of a hamstring injury. Billy Jones has a hip injury. So those boys are we've missed really from day one, and even a bit of pre-season, to be honest, as well. But I think to lose Vito as well, makes it difficult. It just adds another one to the list in this last few days of the transfer window.
Well, does that then mean you might need to look for another goalkeeper?
Well, we'll definitely need to look for a goalkeeper. We only have a young goalkeeper after Jordan, so we'll definitely have to try and find another goalkeeper.
John O'Shea, how's he?
John O'Shea has got a little bit of a hip injury. He's done a little bit of training yesterday. I'm going to assess when we train today how he is. Same with Lamine Coney, done a little bit of training, so I will assess them tomorrow, or later today I should say. Fabio Barini was another one who's come into that situation. He trained a little bit yesterday as well, so we're hoping that Fabio will be okay. We'll just check to see if there's any reaction to his foot after his first training session.
And Kirchhoff, do you have a kind of date that he'll be back?
Well, I'd hope that he'd be back by after the international break. That would be the plan if we can. He's doing quite a bit of running. He's not trained with the team yet as far as any football goes. And as you well know, he's not played since I think one of the early games in France when we were out there a few weeks ago.
It never rains but it pours. How difficult has it been to manage that injury situation, given the fact that it was difficult when you first came in to try and bring in a new signing?
Well, I think what we wanted to do was try and give our young players a chance, but included alongside the more senior players to help them. Unfortunately, we've not been able to help the younger players because we've had to play them all in one big hit. But it's experience for them. It gets them some miles in the clock, and it'll show them what it's really like. And they have to stand up and be counted. And in some cases, they have done. So we'd like to get some of the senior players back because we could do with that experience to give us a little bit of help at the moment.
Just a moment ago you touched on Lamine Coney, you said you'll check on him. Is there a chance he could play this weekend?
Well, as we've not trained yet, we'll train this afternoon and we'll have a look at Lamine there. He came in and he's done a little bit of light work and we'll assess him later on.
I think you said last week originally that he was to stay away until the transfer window closes, and you changed your mind on that one?
No, it was never a case of me telling him to stay away. It was a case of me saying that, if you've got a back injury, well, we don't need you here.
In terms of your new signing, Javier Manquillo, how happy are you to get him in?
We're pleased to get more competition. I'm looking forward to working with him. His English is limited at the moment, but I know I worked in Spain and my Spanish was limited, so we'll do everything we can to help him and try and get him settled in quite quickly. But he's got some qualities. He was Spanish youth player, international player, under-21 player. So we'll try and get him in right away and get him ready for the game, and hopefully give us a bit more competition in the right back area.
Will he be ready to start, do you think? Is there a chance?
There's a good chance he will, yeah. And at the moment, the way we are when we're bringing players in, unfortunately we are having to put them in near enough right away. That's where we're at, partly because of injuries.
And is that a case now you get him in, that's right back, kind of sort of you can tick off that area and you just move on to the next one, or are you having to juggle?
Yeah, no, we hope so, but we are trying to move on, and we're trying to, I would hope that, certainly in the next couple of days we'll have another at least 1 or 2 players in.
What's your priority position right now? Up front, centre half, midfield? Goalkeeper?
Well, I don't really think I need to tell you what my priority is. You know, we're working on all areas, and I'm working on trying to get good players in to give Sunderland every chance to be successful and have a good team. And we're trying to get those players in to help.
I think you said last week you were looking for a few more. Now that Mankeel's in, is it still a few more, or is it just a couple now?
Still a few more. I think when you're a manager, you're always wanting to improve your team, and I think we have got room for improvement, and I think we can try and do that. And we'll attempt to get good players here and give the supporters something to shout about.
Can I put a couple of names to you?
You can put names to me, but I'll only just, if that's your job and you have to put the names because they've told you to do so.
Well, I noticed the Sevilla chairman had said they'd had a bid for Vicente Bora. Wondered whether that was from Sunderland.
Yes.
So you're just waiting to hear back from them now?
I've just answered it yes, so we've had a bid and we'll wait and find out if there's anything comes up.
What could he add to your squad if you managed to get him?
Well, I think we should wait till the if comes, and we'll wait to the time when we talk. There's no point. I'm not going to talk about players at other clubs. You've asked me a question, I've answered it. The answer was yes to that.
Okay. Adnan Januzaj, how happy were you with what he did the other night? And was actually maybe a glimpse of things to come?
Well, I thought he showed glimpses in his first game against Middlesbrough as well. I thought he took people on. You've got to remember he's not played much senior football, and again he's another one we'll have to sort of thrust in without giving them any chance to get to know the players or really have any training time. But I always thought that he could score goals, he can make goals. He's someone who can make a difference in the team, and we need to try and get him the one who makes a difference. We need him, and we will need him through the season, and he got us a win in midweek.
And Southampton, pretty tough place to go.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Sunderland did well last season with that one each draw, but you only need to look back two years ago to that 8-0 defeat. They're the sort of team that when things aren't going well, it can be difficult against them.
I think Southampton are a club which have built progressively, and they've built progressively through their academy mainly. And what they've had to do on their journey, they've had to sell some of their players on to finance the next stage of their development. And I think they're a club which is certainly on the climb because of the way they've done their business. I think they've done it very well. I think they're improving all the time, Southampton. So you'd have to give them credit for the way they've gone about their work in the last 7 or 8 years.
Thanks, David.
David, despite everything, you're still smiling, you're still enjoying it, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I want the challenge, the excitement. Well, I've got to tell you, this is a real roller coaster here at the moment. I've only just started. So I can understand the difficulties everybody else has had, and I can understand the frustration which supporters have got here now. I can see that. But as I've said many times, I just cannot turn this round right away. We're trying to give the supporters a team which we hope can do better than before. If not, we've got to try and do at least as well as what was done before. So we'll do everything we can to try and get it better, but it just can't be flipped around, it really can't.
You won't be surprised by the statistic that Sunderland haven't won a Premier League game in August
Yeah.
for 6 years, and that it means they're always on the back foot, aren't they?
It is, and I'd like to think there was. I'd like to think there was reasons we need to. I mean, I think one thing is not to have a home game at home. I think for quite a few years is not a good thing, because right away then you're making that chance of that being the case. So I don't think that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's the reason why, but I definitely think if you were looking into things which could maybe give us a better chance, that would be one of them. I think as well as that, we seem to be chasing our tail with not really having everything in place. Now that's for different reasons. It could be managers leaving, it could be for change of management, it could be for many different reasons. And actually, in truth, the British clubs tend to do their work really late. It's not a good thing. You look to Germany or Spain, I think they're a little bit more advanced in when they do their transfers. So I don't think that helps us as well.
It says here, one more point to reach 700 points as a Premier League manager, so you would back yourself to get plenty of points this season. I'll
get the points, and I'll definitely go over 700 points. I'd love it to be on Saturday. That would be the start. But I need the players as well. And all my career I've needed players to help me get to that total. So it's no different now. No, this is a team, we work together, them and me. And if we could go to Southampton and start with a point, it would be a good result. But ideally, we want to go and get 3 points and get off and running.
Yeah, David, how much of a lift would that give everyone? You've got to win in midweek, but
Yeah.
going into the international break at 3 points early in the season.
Yeah, I always when I got the job, I looked at the opening fixtures and I thought, I didn't think they were the best what we'd been drawn. We've been away obviously at Manchester City and we were away to Southampton, so 2 out of the 3. But again, is that because we tend to choose never to have a home Premier League game first? I don't think it helps us here. Unfortunately, we've had a few injuries. But, it's part of it. Young players have been given an opportunity. And I do think that we'll improve. I've got no doubt we'll improve. But I'd like to get rid of that sort of hoodoo of not winning a game in August. I don't think it's a good one because it means that you are chasing right from the start and, you're under a bit of pressure right from the off. So I think it's something we definitely would like to change.
From watching Southampton's early games under Claude Puel, are they still finding their way under a new manager as well?
I thought they played really well at Manchester United, and I thought they were really unlucky that night. I did. I thought they played some terrific football. I think the football club have got a real solidity about them now. I think they've built well. I think they've made the right decisions in their early years. It took them a while to transform it. The big thing was that they had an academy which produced players, which allowed them to have players of their own, and for the development of those players. And some of them have moved on and been sold on, but it's allowed them to bring players in, which I really think is shown. And now they're competing all around Europe for some of the top players, and you have to give them credit as a football club for how they've done it.
On the subject of young players there, you're starting to see with Sunderland now that the hard work being done in the academy is starting to bear fruit. Lyndon Gooch has come into the side and done really well.
He's done very well. I think he's been a real positive for us. Duncan Watmore as well was already here and a little bit more known. Jordan Pickford now with the injury to Vito. So my idea would be to try and build a new young up and coming team. But obviously it can't just be young at the moment because I'm going to need some real senior players to help me get to the next level and get me there. But ideally we'd like to have a young team. I'd like to have as many British players if it's possible as well, would help me. But all this is in the sort of the pipe dream, and I've just got to make sure that I do one bit at a time, and obviously the first bit's to try and get a result at Southampton.
Jordan Pickford has played in the Premier League before, albeit only once. He's incredibly highly rated. He's obviously had loan experience as well. How confident are you that if it's a run in the side, he can cope with it?
I'm confident because everybody I speak to talks about him. They talk about him being a good goalkeeper. I watched him quite a bit at Preston on loan last year. So Jordan will get that opportunity. He's now there. He's got his chance to show what he can do, and we've got no problem with him. I think he's got a big future ahead of him, Jordan. But on young players' development, the chance means that they have to step up to the mark. They have to be the ones who, once they get that opportunity, they're ready to do it, ready to take it. He played very well in midweek against Shrewsbury, but he'll be tested in many different ways in the Premier League.
He's England's under-21 international goalkeeper. You said you need another goalkeeper. England's #1 goalkeeper. Sort of situation at Man City, is that a realistic target for someone like Joe Hart?
We'll have to look for another goalkeeper, and we know that, and we'll assess what we're going to do. We've only got a few days to go, so you won't have to wait too long to find out what goalkeeper we get.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
David, sorry, just before you
Sorry.
go. The more I hear you and other managers speak at this time, the more it seems ridiculous that the transfer window doesn't shut before the season starts. Do you feel that?
I do, because I think if it had shut right at the start, then you know where you are and what you've got to work with. But the way it works is this is what we've got. So I think it's a discussion everybody's had, and some will see it as a good thing and a bad thing. Strange enough, I think for us at this moment in time it's a good thing, because we need to add players to the squad. If it had been closed 2 weeks ago, we wouldn't have had enough time to do our business or even try, because we definitely still need to add some more players to the group.
Finally, all things considered with a match and everything else, how much sleep would you expect to get between now and September the 1st?
Well, I've not been getting an awful lot at the moment, because I've got to say the chief exec has been in here, the training ground every night to midnight, and I have to thank them for the work they're doing, and to be fair, I've not been far behind them as well. So I don't think there'll be a great deal, but I think the important thing is that we've got to try and get a result against Southampton, give ourselves something to look forward to going into the transfer window, or the end of the transfer window I should say, and let's see by the end of it if we can sort of have a squad which then we can feel we can try and start building and piecing together a side. And again, our injuries have not helped that, because we're looking at some of them are long-term injuries. You know, they're not just short injuries. Okay.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Cheers.
Right.